Awesome. So we are super excited to have all of you. So since there are lots of new faces on here today, so I'm super excited about that. So I'll just do a little intro on who I am and like why why we do these calls and stuff. So y'all know we do have some familiar faces too. So super excited to have y'all back. But my name is Megan. Sherry and I own the Bookkeeper Blueprint Coaching Businesses for Success. I started my business in 2019. So going on this year will make 6 years into business with my bookkeeping business. I started a bookkeeping business because I wanted to be able to have more time with my daughter. She was 11 when I started my business, and I felt like I missed out on 11 years of her life because she was at daycare. I was working full time, single mom. So it was a struggle. And I'm sure some of y'all totally get that. And that's probably why you're starting a business as well. But now I have the flexibility. I'm able to drop her off at school, be there for practices, travel with her for her competitions and all the things. So owning a bookkeeping business has opened up so many avenues for myself, me, Sherry, and we have 10 other coaches that help coach as well. We all got together and created the Bookkeeper Blueprint because we wanted to be able to help and share with other people to be able to do the same thing that we're doing, because it's changed our lives in so many different ways and opened so many avenues for us. It just makes it, we created it so you have all the resources you need to be able to start and grow a bookkeeping business all in one place to make it easier for you. And just things that like we wish we had available to us when we started and all the things. So that's a little bit about me and the program. So we are super happy to have y'all today. Today, for the podcast, we are going to talk about Facebook pages. So how many of you have started, are you using Facebook to market? I will say this as well, Facebook's not the only way. So know that that's what today's topic is, but it's not the only way to market. There's plenty of other ways that you can market your business. So know that. So if you feel like Facebook's not my thing, that's okay. There's other things that are. A lot of people get stuck on they'll start marketing one way, whether it's Facebook, and they get hung up on that's the only way to do it. There's not. You can do in-person networking. You can use LinkedIn. You can use Upwork. There's so many different ways. And all of our coaches have built their businesses in different ways. So it's totally different for everybody. Sorry, I was reading something in the chat. But yeah, so today we're going to talk about Facebook. And if y'all have any questions, feel free, as I'm going through everything, feel free to unmute, ask, feel free to drop your comments in the chat. I am going to screen share some so I can show y'all a little bit. So if it's in the chat and I don't see it, feel free to unmute and interrupt me. I don't mind that at all. And please ask any questions. If you have other questions towards the end, we'll open that up for Q&A for anything that you have related to bookkeeping. So if you have any other questions, happy to answer those as well. We'll do those towards the end. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do, and let me pull up and I'll share. So one thing to remember when you're doing like Facebook marketing, there's a couple of different ways that you can market yourself on Facebook. You can have your personal page and you can market from there, or you can have a business page. We'll start with the business page piece of it. A lot of people do get hung up on that's all, and that's all they do. So I'll touch on both because I think both are super important to have. But I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start with your business page. So a couple of things when you want to start your business page, it's going to be, let me ask this question first before I start. Is everybody familiar with Facebook, or like how in depth do y'all need me to go? Do we need to walk through every single step of setting up a Facebook page, or are y'all familiar with it and we just want to be able to utilize it better? Because I can go through from the very beginning and walk y'all through and show y'all those pieces of it. But if you have the basics, but I don't want to assume that everybody has basics down either.
I was going to type this, but I decided not to. My biggest thing is I'm trying to do a Facebook business page. I'm not social media savvy at all. And I'm trying to create a business page, but it's not connected to my personal page. where you always have to sign in under my username and password, because I'm doing this business with one other person. It's him and I that are going to do this together. And so we want to be able to just go in there and make the changes and put stuff on there without him having to come to me and going, hey, can you put this on there? Or me going to him. Is that something that you can do? And again, this is my complete lack of knowledge.
Yeah, so you can have admins and stuff. So I log into I'm not sharing my screen anymore, am I? Well, let me share my screen. So when I log into my personal page, this is what, like this drop down arrow, you can see these, like this is my personal page here. This is my business page. This is our coaching business page. So like I have access to it. Sherry has access to it. Allie has access to it. Some of the other coaches have access to it. So we all have access to it, and we can get to it from our business page, from our personal page. You just have to set them up as an admin. I think, let's see, settings, I want to say is where it's going to be at. It's been a while since I've done it. Access and control, maybe. Let's see. Nope. I don't want to delete. Okay. Apparently settings is not where it's at. Allie, do you by any chance remember?
It's business.facebook.com. So this is like a back office for you to see just a little bit more on your business page. And it should be in here. So you might go to settings here. And then people. There we go. And then that's how you would invite him. So you would just click that invite button and then he would pop up.
Okay, so yeah, invite and then his email address. So did y'all already, I'm assuming y'all already set the page up, because if you've already set it up, you could probably invite both of you on there. And y'all, I definitely would suggest doing so, because I will tell you this, I started my business in 2019, as I said earlier, but in the beginning of 2020, my page got hacked. My personal page got hacked. When my personal page got hacked, it ended up getting deleted and everything. Thankfully, I had my mom on my business page at the time, because I was still working in 2019 when I set everything up. So she was helping me with messages and stuff that were coming through. And since I had her set up, she was able to, when I created a new personal page, go add me back on my page as an admin so I could connect it back to my personal account. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to access my business page. So definitely highly recommend, whether it's a kid, a spouse, a parent, whoever, definitely have somebody else on your business page as an admin as well, so that they can have access to that if that ever happens. Because if not, I would have lost my personal page and my business page, everything I had created up until that point. So yeah, since we're talking about that, FYI, learn from my mistakes. But since we're here, so that's a couple of different things that, like, obviously when you come set it up, now you can set up when you go to set up a business page, you can go directly. I'm going to go back to my personal page just so I can show y'all, but you can do it directly from your personal page, set up, like create a new page. So you would hit create page here. So you can do that directly from your personal page and then invite people if you chose to do it that way. So that way they're still linked. So you can just toggle between them here. And as you can see, I'm an admin on my friend's page. Same thing. That way, if anything ever happened, I can help her get back into her page. So yeah, so let's go into So if you need to set one up, you have not set it up yet. Again, I would highly recommend having a business page and having a personal page. Most of you probably already have a personal page. I use my personal and my business both for business. If somebody were to go look you or your business up on Facebook because you had a conversation with them today, you want to be there and be able to be found. And you want to seem like you're a legitimate business. You want them to be able to see those things on there. So, and I had a business owner tell me one time that's one of the first things they do is go look, is this business on Facebook, and check them out, are there reviews, like all that kind of thing. So think about it from that standpoint. Some people are going there, checking you out, seeing what you have to offer. Are you on Facebook? All the different things. Can you have just a business page? And how do we weed out spam? Because I joined groups, but was not getting anywhere, and I closed everything down now. Melissa, apparently you can have just a business page. I don't think in the past you could, but I think you can now, and you can just set up a business page if you want it. The only downfall that I always tell everybody to think about, and the reason I'm like, have both, is because when you have a business page, now they are getting a little bit, like, they are making it where you can do a little bit different things and stuff like that with your business page that you couldn't, like, when I started my business. But like when I first started, you used to not be able to, you can invite some people to like your page and stuff like that. But think about it from this standpoint, usually the one that, like, you're limited on who you can invite to. Whereas friend requests, you can just go search, find people, send them friends requests from your personal page. So you can control who is seeing your stuff a little bit and who you're sending those invites to, essentially, in a way, and things like that. So you have a little bit more control over the algorithm when you're doing it from a personal page. So again, try to get, both are super important. So I'm not saying one's more important than the other, but that's why I try to do everything from both. And then, like, some Facebook groups, you can't join the group as a page because that's a restriction that groups can have the option to set up. So you may not be able to join a Facebook group that you want to join to get contacts or that has business owners and stuff in it if you're joining as a page. So definitely think about it from that standpoint. And we'll go through a little bit of the super important things on having a page as you're setting it up, things to think about, make sure that you're setting up and saying. And y'all, if you have questions as I'm going through, definitely let me know. And Melissa, as far as to weed out spam, I'm not sure. Do you mean you're getting a ton of spam messages and stuff like that? Or is it just kind of spam showing up in your news feed? Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a whole lot to do as far as stopping the messages, because we get them like crazy. Especially the more active you get, the more they start showing up. If it looks like it's a spam account, I block it. So I think that helps a little bit. I just got more fake job inquiries. I guess just trying to know you're talking to a legit person makes sense. So were you doing it strictly from a business page? Is that where? So one thing that's helped me tremendously, because I mostly grew my business from Facebook. It was on my personal, I was in groups. Yeah. So some of the groups, it's very hard to tell if they're just going to be spamming groups and things like that. So I'm going to give y'all some tips on making sure that your page and everything looks legitimate, so people know that you are legitimate. So use those same tips in checking out other people's pages and stuff too, as you're going to do it, to make, as they start sending you messages and all the things. Because sometimes it is super hard because you won't know it's spam because they might have hacked somebody's page, they've taken over, and now they're sending you a message from there. Like, the spammers are getting like super smart and everything, so it's hard to identify all the time. But one thing that I've done is really focused on local groups. Now, you don't have to do local, so you're able to go wherever. But if it's local, then I have mutual friends in common with those people. Maybe I've seen them around, I've seen them in other groups, my local pages, things like that. So a lot of times when you have mutual friends, hey, this is a legitimate inquiry and all the things. One thing that I do is I usually always ask for access to their QuickBooks for them to add me as an accountant onto their QuickBooks so I can go in and, if they have QuickBooks, some people don't, of course, but so I can go in and review the QuickBooks file. If they're going to give you that, then that's another kind of sign that, like, hey, these are legitimate people. So I think a lot of, in your discovery process, even having them set up a call, the questions that you can ask in Calendly will weed out a lot of those kind of things. The more questions you ask. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, but some groups, especially if you get into like your local groups, like just get in there and look, does it look like this is just spammy? This is just people advertising, and determine from that standpoint. And then can you remind us of the way to get into that Facebook back office? That was, let's see. You found it. Okay, awesome. It was, I clicked on Meta. So Meta Business Suite, when I was in there, I think Allie said it was business.facebook.com is what it ended up being. I can't, the whole thing's in my way. Okay, perfect. Yep, Meta. Awesome. Okay, y'all feel free to keep dropping questions as we go. I'm happy to answer them as we go. Okay, so when you're after you set up your page initially, so you're gonna want to make sure that everything, like, brand everything with your business stuff. So in the beginning, like now I have this nice banner created and all the things. In the beginning, it was my logo or just some picture or whatever, because I didn't have all that. I didn't know how to work Canva and all that. So whatever you can do, just so they know that you're a business owner, what do you own a bookkeeping business? What do you do with your bookkeeping bit? What does that mean? Because a lot of people, we take it for granted. Hey, I'm a bookkeeper. But a lot of people don't even know what that means when you say, hey, I offer bookkeeping services. What are you offering to me? I have no idea. So give them a little bit of, so what do you tell people when somebody says, hey, what do you do? What can you offer them? For me, I put increase your time and money, do more of what you love. Giving business owners back some of their time to be able to do their money making activities. And then, okay, so and then when you go to, let me view my page. View as, okay. So if you clicked on my page right now, this is how y'all would be seeing it. So of course, anybody else that's looking at it, that's how they would see it. So you want to have some type of little catchphrase here for your business. So I changed mine recently just so it goes with the new year. And then you want to make sure you have your contact information and everything. Phone number, email address. My website's been blocked from Facebook for whatever reason. It happened when my page got hacked. So I can't put my website on here. So I link it back to my Calendly, which works out because they're able to just click on Calendly and go schedule a call with me if they want to schedule a call. Then you want to make sure that you're posting business related stuff. So whatever's going to get their attention. I will tell y'all, my business page, I have not posted on it as much, but you want to make sure that you're posting on it often enough where if somebody clicked on it, they know that, hey, this person is still in business. If somebody clicked on this and the last thing they saw was in 2020, then they're going to be like, oh, she's not in business anymore. So you want to make sure you're keeping it up to date. So whatever that looks like for you, of course, the more that you're posting and stuff, the more interactions. I can tell you this, y'all can see I have 2,000 followers on this page. You can see I only have a handful of likes, comments, and stuff like that. So it's like totally different here on your business page than it is coming from your personal page. But you want to make sure that you're being active and that you're showing up business page, personal page. So what I post a ton on my personal page. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, that's where mine are. Both places I'm showing up. The thing that you want to think about is if somebody's on their phone scrolling tonight. Yeah, tonight trying to relax, like business owners. I just want to disconnect. And maybe they sat down and they did their bookkeeping. You want to be in their newsfeed as they're scrolling. So how can you show up where they're already at? So they see you, so they know, hey, Megan does bookkeeping if they need it. And it can be for, even if it's not them, it might be other business owners, or they might know a business owner, all the things. So you just want to make sure that you are staying active and that you're there when they're looking. I'm going to jump over to, do y'all have any questions about the business page? I'm going to jump over to our personal page and I'm going to go through that a little bit too. Okay. Okay. So, and again, if y'all have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And then with your business page, with your personal page, you want to make sure you're utilizing it as well. That side of Facebook is a little bit easier to trick the algorithm because you're able to actually send friend requests out to people from your personal page. You're able to, as you comment on their stuff, your stuff starts showing up in their news feed more, vice versa. So you have all those aspects of it. You can, so one thing like here, you can see when you come, if I send a business owner a friend request and they're like, who is this person? Why is she sending me a friend request? When they click on my page, the first thing they see is I own a bookkeeping business. So it's very obvious to them. Lets you get your books ready for tax season. And then I have my business pages. So for the coaching business and for my bookkeeping business connected here. So if they wanted to go check out my business page, all they have to do is click and go here and go. So you want to make sure that you have that set up as well. That way it's super easy for them to be able to find if they want to go check it out, see who you are, like, hey, what is she doing? What does that mean to say she's a bookkeeper? Like all the things. One thing that I've done is I do have a pinned post here. I created a video going over a little bit about, hey, if you got a friend request from me, like this is who I am. This is what I offer. So I touch on both of the businesses since I'm doing both of them on my personal page. So I touch on that, just hey, here's a rundown. This is who I am. This is what I offer. And then you want to make sure that as they're scrolling on your page that they're seeing some of these business posts, they're knowing. Now, you don't want everything to be strictly business. You do want to keep that people are going to comment more on the non-business, your personal posts, those types of things. So I usually try to do a mixture of both on my personal page. My business page stays strictly business, but my personal page is a combination. So you'll see Cynthia, I don't know if you're still on here, Louisiana, snow next week. That never happens. So throw in some of that stuff that people can relate to, that they're going to comment on, get some engagement, those types of things. So all of this personal, anything that you're going to get people to comment like, and you can see on these, not that there's a ton because I've been having some engagement issues on my Facebook, but as you can see, there's definitely way more engagement on here than there is on my business page. And a lot of that goes back to you're able to trick the algorithm, but you want to make sure that you're sharing some personal stuff, some business stuff. What are people going to interact with? And that you're keeping it like, hey, this is who she is. This is what they're showing up for. Because I got a lot of comments about that whenever I first started my business, that from business owners who reached out for services, that they were like, hey, I really am enjoying your posts. So I love mindset stuff. I love motivational stuff. Like that's always been my thing. And it's been one of those things that like I had to make huge mindset shifts when I started my business to be able to get where I'm at. So I like to share that kind of information. So you'll see a ton of that on my Facebook page. So that created some relationships where people are starting to reach out and they're like, hey, I really relate with this content that you're putting out. I enjoy it, whatever. So it built those relationships. So what are some of those things that are you? Maybe that's not you. Maybe you Maybe you're a cat person, maybe you're an animal person, whatever the case is, and you're posting tons of that content. That's fine too. But that's the type of people that you're trying to attract, is the people that are going to relate to those types of things. You also want to make, like, obviously this is live on our page right now, on my page right now. You want to make sure that you're either doing, whether it's reels, lives, something along those lines, because in the industry that we're in, you're dealing with people's finances. People want to get to know you. They need to know and trust you in order to be able to hand over their finances. So you want to make sure that you're connecting with them, that you're building that relationship. So how can you build those relationships with people? And connecting, video is going to be the easiest form and ways to do that. Is it the only way? No, of course not. There's tons of ways to be able to do that, but video makes it easier to be able to show up. So again, whether it's reels, whether it's live, you just make those connections a lot quicker with people when you go that route. And then another way, because a couple of you were asking questions about Facebook groups and stuff, make sure that you get in Facebook groups, of course. So what does that mean? Is there a specific industry that you're trying to focus solely on? Is it real estate agents? Is it property management companies, construction, anything like that? Maybe you don't know because you're brand new and you're just starting out. So just search your area and try to find some groups that are local business groups. If you can't find any, one, you could create one, because if you're looking for it, somebody else is probably looking for it too if it's not there. Ask. Post on Facebook and ask that question. Are there any local business groups if you can't find them? You can even post in like your neighborhood pages and stuff like that and ask those questions as well. The business owners are usually, they want to get other business owners in those groups for referrals to build it. Like, those are networking groups. That's what they're there for. So how can we help each other out? So ask those questions, try to find out. So that's where you're going to get a lot of your friends from, is going to be some of those groups. Also, you can go on Facebook and you can just search. Let's say you wanted to just search plumber. If you search plumber, it's going to start coming up with, this guy owns a plumbing company. And it's just going to come, it'll come up with people that has the word plumbing or plumber in their pages. And I'm just using that as an example. So is there some other type of industry that you want to look for? Maybe you just want to type in owner because you want to look for somebody who has small business owner in their thing. Okay, this is groups, but this says she's a small business owner. This says she's a small business owner. Like, you can just scroll and look. There are also groups are going to be a place to be able to find those and stuff as well. So small business groups, Christian small business groups. There's tons of small business groups. So where are some of those that you want to connect with people? So let's look at a couple of those and see, because one of the questions was, how do you get past all the spam stuff? Some of them are going to be a ton of spam in there. This one asks you to promote your business. So there's an opportunity to go in here and promote your business. That is one thing that you do want to keep in mind as you're going through these Facebook pages. Make sure that you're checking out the rules before you go in there and just start promoting your business or anything like that, because some of them only have certain days. How this post says promote your business, this particular group, it could be a rule that the only time you can ever promote your business is on a post like this when they do that. And that keeps some of that spam out of the group if they only have certain posts or certain days that you can promote your business. So keep that in mind as you're going through it, as you're going through the groups and stuff. If you have, let's say, property management companies that you're doing bookkeeping for, is there a certain software that you're seeing in common with those property management companies? Yes, there probably is. What is a software that you can look up that is related to that? I'm going to use a bookkeeping software just for examples. Keeper is a very popular bookkeeping software that a lot of bookkeepers use. So if I wanted to look for bookkeepers, this would be a great group to join. So if there's some type of software And especially if you have knowledge to bring to these groups, that's definitely one of the things that you want to keep in mind. When you go into these groups and you show up, make sure that you are providing some type of value. Go in there and answer questions. If there's questions that you know an answer to and you're like, let me go answer this, you start a conversation with that person. Now that gives you an open door to be able to send them a friend request and them not feel like it's spammy because they've had a conversation with you. You've helped them out. Because there's stuff like maybe it's marketing, maybe it's budgeting, maybe it's setting up a business bank account or your LLC because you just did those types of things. There's different things like that that people are going to ask in these different business groups and stuff that you're going to be able to provide value for, because guess what? You're in the process. You've already done that. You just worked past those steps. So think about all those different types of things. What are some different things that you can post in these groups to provide value? That's where you're going to start seeing a ton of your relationships to be starting building and all those types of things. And yeah, do y'all have any questions so far about any of that? I know it's a lot of information. If you have a Facebook page set up and you want us to look at it or to review it or anything, I'm happy to do that while we're on here and give you some information. Like, hey, here's some things you can do to make it better. I definitely would say, so one of the first books that I read when I started my business was The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. One thing, a couple of things to keep in mind, because some people don't like this book, don't like him, like all the things. For me, I was trying to grow my business fast. I had goals. I knew what my goals were. I needed to reach them as quick as I could. So his book was super appealing to me and I needed to do what he had to say when I did it. So one of the things that he suggests is whatever you want to start a business, you're wanting to be above average. So think about what the average business owner or person is doing. So Facebook was my marketing strategy. So my first thought was, okay, I'll post a couple of times a week on Facebook. He says do 10 times that. If you want to be above average, you need to be doing 10 times whatever you think the average person is doing. So I upped my marketing. I went 5 to 10 times a day. I was started posting on Facebook and I grew my business, was able to leave my job in 4 months. So you have to figure out like, what are your goals? How fast do you want to reach them? Because if you're just showing up a couple of times a week, you'll reach your goals. You're probably not going to get there as quick as somebody else would. That's okay. But you just have to think about how fast you want to reach those goals. If you want to do it and you want to do it quicker, you need to do more. You need to show up more. You need to talk to more people. That's the key. How many conversations are you having? And you can't just post on Facebook and say, okay, I'm done. Because guess what? They may not be seeing it. You have to interact with people's posts. As these friends requests are getting accepted, go to their page, engage with their post. And all the different things. You need to have genuine conversations, show up to in-person networking groups, have conversations, build relationships with people. That's where you're going to really start seeing a difference and really start getting results and signing clients. Okay, let's see. Let's see, we have somebody drop a page. Please advise. It's so new. Perfect. And then Anna, I'll circle back to you. So I'm gonna share my screen again. Is this your page, Sunshine? Looks like I'm following you. So probably because I think you and I had a conversation already. So yes, okay, this is her. Perfect. So one thing that I definitely would suggest, and again, you said it's new, so some of this you may already be working on, so that's fine, but I'm just going to go through it and let you know everything. I love the beehive background. I feel like that goes perfect with that. I would, if you can, you definitely want to change your profile picture, whether it's your logo, a picture of you, something along those lines. And then you'll also want even your cover page, have something catchy that's going to get their attention. One thing that I did not show y'all, let me go back to mine real quick. When you go to mine, if you click on the cover photo, oh, never mind, it's on my personal page. Wrong page, but I have my website. You could put your website in there if they click on that, like how can they schedule let me go back to your page. Okay. So something on here where they have website, they have contact information. What do you have to offer? So like with your bookkeeping services, and again, like I said earlier, what does that mean? So what are you looking, what are you doing to help them with their business? The next thing under intro, you want to make sure that you have some type of catchphrase. So do you have a slogan for your business? Do you have a catchphrase for your business? That can be that, or, hey, let's get your books cleaned up, tax ready, something along those lines. Y'all, ChatGPT is great for helping with some of those types of things. So feel free to plug that into ChatGPT and see what they have to say about it. You can make sure if you want to change the wording, I would highly suggest changing the wording within ChatGPT and telling it like, hey, can we make it sound a little more like this or whatever? Because then it'll learn how you want things to sound and stuff like that. So it'll be able to help you better in the future when you put it in. Accounting services, great. Email address, I would definitely add, I don't know if you have like a Google Voice phone number or you just have your phone number that you want them to contact you at. Is there a phone number they can contact you at? That would be super helpful. But definitely profile picture, I would upgrade the cover photo. Now, again, I love the cover photo. So if you just added some words to the background, if that's the theme that you're going with, I think that would definitely work. And then of course, as you start, awesome. I'm assuming this is is this your about section? Because you'll want to make sure that's, yeah, I would make sure that's in your about section. If somebody Google search for you on Facebook, they're able to see that. If not, you can pin this to the top of it. So it's the first thing that they see when they come to your page. So that gives them a little bit more information. And then, of course, again, the more people that likes and followers and everything you get, you'll start to see more engagement. I love that you have your website connected. I would also connect your website over here. That way it's easy for them to be able to go and click on if they want to go straight to your website. I haven't checked out your website, but you may have, if you have your scheduling platform or anything, that may have your contact information with your phone number, stuff like that. So that would be super easy for them to be able to click, because right now it's at the top of the page. But as you start posting more, it's going to get lost in the shuffle, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions. And then Anna, not a question, just that I will get to go over this later when available, as I came in late. But since I'm going to be creating my Facebook page and updating my personal to promote my business. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Anna, as you have questions, definitely let us know. Happy to go over it with you. Since you, Anna, is a part of the program. So in the program, you have a ton of access to course material around making sure your Facebook page and everything is good, how it needs to be, some posts, things like that in there in the course. So some of that information's there for you to go over, but this will be good to be able to go back and listen to the replay after you set it up if you need to. And feel free to schedule one-to-ones and stuff like that if you need to as well to get that set up too. All right. So y'all definitely let me know if y'all have any other questions. I am happy we can now go to other questions. So I'll talk just a little bit, just because since I was talking to Anna specifically with some of that, just a little bit about our course and our program, if anybody is interested, because we want to help y'all. We want to help y'all get to the next level, to create the life of your dreams, to be able to be there for your kids or whatever that looks like for you. Because I know everybody doesn't have kids, but maybe you just want to travel or whatever and have that time flexibility, financial freedom, whatever that is. But we do have a coaching program. So if whether bookkeeping or you don't know bookkeeping, we can support you in that. So our course will help you set up your business. So what do you need to set up a business, LLC, insurance, all the things. If you need to learn how to do the bookkeeping, we have that information in there as well. Once you get a client, what do you do with the client? We have information on how that works, your engagement letters, disengagement letters, processes, procedures, all the things that you need as you're setting up and starting to grow your bookkeeping business. ready to market. Just like I was telling Anna, there's tons of marketing information in there. So setting up your Facebook pages, Upwork trainings, LinkedIn trainings, we have tons. So just depending on what route you choose to market your business and what that looks like for you, all of that's in the course as well. And then in there, we also have group coaching. So we have a Facebook group that's just for the Bookkeeper Blueprint members. And that we have right now, we have 2 weekly calls. You have access to this, of course, as well, but you have 2 weekly calls where you can hop on and ask questions. We're starting a mindset call every other week starting next month. And then we also do a training once a month. So that's an additional training on top of all the course information and stuff we have. So as something comes up, if it's like, hey, everybody's struggling with getting organized, let's do a training on how can we be more organized. Or we did an onboarding one recently. We did a goals workshop, like all those different things. Those are free to you if you're in our community. You're also able to ask questions in that Facebook group. So all of our coaches are in there, and then we have a CPA in there as well that answers some questions as they come up tax related. And then you also get 2 one-to-ones every month. So that means you get to hop on with the coach of your choice for a 30-minute session. You can share your screen. It's you and the coach. Ask any questions that you have. So if that's something that anybody's interested in, we're happy to get you some information on that. And we would love to support y'all wherever you're at in your journey. Okay, let's see. Sunshine has a question. If you were starting your business now, what is one thing you wish you would have known? Oh, that's a great question. I think it would have been to know that you don't have to offer all the services and all the things. Because one thing, like in the beginning of my business, it felt, and a lot of you may feel like that, when people start reaching out, especially in the beginning, it's, hey, I need taxes done. And that starts feeling like it starts getting discouraging because I don't offer taxes. I don't know how to do that. So like I invested, I'm going to start doing tax returns, like all this. That was a thought I had because I have to do that to be successful. So I took the course and then I was like, this is not something I want to do. I don't want to have to deal with the IRS all the time, like all the things. Ended up not doing it. And so I've never done a tax return ever, and I'm 6 years in. So I feel like I could, if I would have focused solely on my bookkeeping, I probably could have gotten a little bit further than I did. But you don't have to offer that additional services. And a lot of people won't tell you that. You just, especially when you're in groups and stuff like that, you start seeing all these CFO level advisory services, and you can be making $3,000 a month with clients and stuff like that. You don't have to. There's smaller clients out there. You can just do basic bookkeeping and have a successful business. Like if that's the route you're wanting to go. Yeah, exactly. Hate taxes. It's one of those things where it's like that's one of those things you have to stay on top of everything when it comes to the taxes. And it just feels like that's so much. Everybody who follows it, so thankful for y'all for doing that for sure, because it feels like that's so much pressure. I can't imagine having to handle that, have that pressure and all the things. Yeah, bookkeeping is my thing. I will stick there. Anna, you had a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm over here and I have my work and 2 keyboards in front of me. And I'm typing for work and it's a mess because I'm working right now.
That's okay.
I don't actually have a question. I see Ali and I just want to say thank you again. I just want to say to the people on the call that are not in the program, they are so on it when it comes to you reaching out. And I the other day was so sick. I felt so bad. I was studying and there was something that I wasn't getting. And she still came and responded and helped me out. And I really appreciate you. And I hope you're doing much better right now.
Thank you for that, Anna.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm feeling so much better. Little bit, like I have a little bit of a cough still, but way better than last week. So thank you so much. You're the best.
I appreciate you. But that's how, and like whenever I reach out and I have questions and I need support, I hit like a hurdle that something is not coming up or something. As of right now, I always get a very fast response.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm super glad to hear that.
Yep. Awesome. We appreciate you, Anna, and it's been awesome working with you so far. Anybody else have any questions, comments, anything we can help with. If I see a couple of people just hopped on, if you're hopping on now, you can definitely catch the replay after. It's in Facebook. That's like available right away if you want to. I say right away. I think it takes a little while to load, but still give it an hour or so maybe, but it will be available today. And then next week you will have everything on the podcast available to catch the replay. So yeah. And if y'all like check out some of the other podcasts, if you have questions, let us know. But yeah, feel free to send us a message, post in the group, tag us, whatever. Let us know how we can help you, how we can support you. Send us an email, whatever. We will get back to you. But 2025 is going to be the year, y'all. So it's time to, if you're thinking about starting a business, now's the time to do it because everybody's getting in tax mode. Potentials are reaching out. So it's the time for sure. So, all right. Was there anything else, Allie? I think that's it. I don't think we have. All right.
I think we're good.
Perfect. Y'all have an awesome week and we will see y'all next week. Bye. Thank y'all for
you.
coming.
Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you.